Methods of intermittent fasting. 16-8 is a method. It's also called the Lean Gains Protocol, and it was made famous by a guy called Martin Burkhan. So how you do it is you choose an 8-hour eating window. So for example, 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then you would fast for around 16 hours and you repeat the cycle. This is normally used with planning your training around your eating window. The second method is Eat, Stop, Eat, a guy called Brad Pillon. This involves fasting for 24 hours, once or twice a week. To simply put it, you have your dinner one day and you fast until dinner the next day. So it's 24 hours. Also like to mention, fasting is also used for religious or spiritual reasons. This includes Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and also Buddhism as well. So benefits of intermittent fasting, how to manage your hunger and how to manage cravings or how to reduce cravings. So intermittent fasting helps to solve both of these. And how this works is, if you think about hunger as it's largely habitual, so your body likes a routine and it also runs on cycles. So an example of this would be, you've got a hunger hormone called ghrelin, and this can be manipulated using intermittent fasting. So let me give you an example how this would play out. So for example, you eat at 7 a.m. and you eat at 10 a.m. So that's your routine that you've put yourself in. You'll always be hungry at these times. And the reason being is because the hunger hormone is released in order to make you eat. So it's quite clever. So when you start deciding to practice in intermittent fasting and start skipping these 2 meals, after a period around 2 weeks, what you're going to notice is the hunger you used to experience is no longer there. Because what you've done is you've altered that pattern and you've manipulated the hunger hormone. The second thing is cravings. When we talk about cravings, something that works really well in intermittent fasting is having a clear set of rules. So when to eat and when not to eat. It helps cravings to disappear as you simply forget about food. So, you drink water or you drink a coffee, chewing gum or a walk because you have them clear set rules, when to eat and when not to eat. On a side note, if you don't handle hunger pretty well, and you tend to overeat, then intermittent fasting probably isn't going to work for you. So who should intermittent fast? Intermittent fasting is used effectively for improving health, performance, and body composition. It's also effective at calorie restriction, but again, it's a technique or it's an eating pattern. People it works well for are people that prefer to skip breakfast daily or every other day, or just eat when they feel best. If you travel often, have kids and don't have time in the morning, intermittent fasting sounds like it could be a good fit for yourself. If you enjoy breakfast, then I would recommend against intermittent fasting. If you enjoy eating regularly, if you're training twice a day, if your volume is quite high, that's probably something to be mindful of. Same thing as someone that has quite a low appetite, they're going to struggle in the period when they're meant to feed to actually get the food in. And the other way as well, which is like example strongman or maybe even a rugby player that needs to put a lot of calories in their body, they've only got 8 hours to do that, so they might struggle to do that. So it's something just to be mindful of. Would I recommend it? Probably not. Also, if you really struggle controlling your hunger, and that tends usually to overeating, then intermittent fasting is probably a technique that I would just be mindful of. I would probably summarize intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is an eating method which requires fasting periods. If done effectively, it can help curb cravings and control hunger. It is suited best to people who are busy, travel, and also don't mind skipping breakfast. And not best suited for people that have higher training volume loads, train twice a day, have small appetites as they're going to struggle with the food in their eating window, enjoy their breakfast, or even eating regularly as well. So that's a summary of intermittent fasting. So next week we're going to talk about ketogenic. What is a ketogenic diet? Why you would use a ketogenic diet, and the benefits of it as well.